My friend took advantage of me when I was in the hospital. My name is Sarah. I'm 34, and I need to tell you about how my so called friend turned my act of kindness into the worst home invasion I've ever experienced, and I literally gave her the keys. 2 months ago, I scheduled a major surgery. I'm not going to get into specifics about the medical details, but it was serious, the kind of surgery where you're hospitalized for days and then need weeks of recovery where you can barely move. I knew I'd be away from home for about a month total. A few days in the hospital, then recovery, at my mum's place a few hours away where she could help take care of me and my 2 kids while I healed. I have pets, 2 kittens and a fish tank, that needed daily care, so I hired a professional pet sitter months in advance. Everything was arranged, paid for, confirmed. Then, 3 days before my surgery, the pet sitter cancelled on me. Family emergency, completely unavoidable. I don't blame her. But I was in a total panic. I have 2 young kids who were also going to be at my mum's with me. I couldn't exactly cancel a major surgery, and I couldn't leave my pets alone for a month. I was frantically calling every pet sitting service in my area. But it was holiday season and everyone was booked solid. That's when my friend Jessica reached out. Jessica and I had been friends for about 3 years. We weren't super close, but we'd hang out occasionally, texted regularly, seemed to get along well. She knew I was having surgery because I'd mentioned it in our group chat. She texted me, "Hey, I heard your pet sitter cancelled. I'm actually between housing right now and could really use a place to stay. What if I house sat for you? I could take care of your pets and you'd be helping me out with a place to crash." It seemed perfect. I was going to pay the professional sitter $600 for the month. I offered Jessica that same amount. Plus, I'd stock the fridge and pantry so she wouldn't have to worry about food expenses. We agreed on the arrangement. She'd take care of my 2 kittens and fish, keep the house reasonably tidy, and be ready to leave when I got back. She could use my car for emergencies only. It's a lease and I have a mileage limit. Before I start paying extra fees, I went grocery shopping and spent $300 stocking up on food for her. I left detailed instructions for pet care. I gave her my keys and my trust. Big mistake. The surgery went well, but recovery was brutal. I was in the hospital for 5 days, then transferred to my mom's house where I spent 3 weeks, basically bedridden. I could barely walk. Standing for more than a few minutes left me in excruciating pain. While I was in the hospital, Jessica texted me updates about the pets. "Kittens are doing great, fish are fed, everything's good here." About a week into my hospital stay, she mentioned she'd brought her cat over to keep the kittens company. I was too drugged up and exhausted to really process this or push back. In hindsight, I should have said no immediately. A few days later, she casually mentioned her boyfriend was helping her out with the pets. Again, I was too out of it to realize what was actually happening, that she'd essentially moved him into my house without asking. I spent the next 3 weeks at my mom's house focused on healing. My mom took care of my kids. I did physical therapy. I tried to rest and recover enough to be able to go home and function as a parent again. Jessica kept sending me updates that everything was fine. The house was great. The pets were happy. Don't worry about anything. I should have known something was wrong when she started texting me about extending her stay. "Hey, I know you're coming home soon, but I'm still having trouble finding a place. Would it be okay if I stayed a bit longer? I could help you with the kids and take care of you while you're recovering." I told her I appreciated the offer, but I needed my space back. She kept pushing, I kept deflecting. I was too weak and tired to have a confrontation via text message from my mum's couch. Finally, my doctor cleared me to go home. I was still in rough shape. Walking was difficult. I couldn't lift anything heavy. I tired easily, but I could manage at home with my kids' help. I texted Jessica that I'd be home the next day and she needed to be moved out by then. She said okay. My mom drove me and the kids home. We pulled into my driveway and I immediately noticed my car was parked differently than I'd left it. When I opened the front door, the smell hit me first. Stale food, cat litter, something vaguely smoky. My heart sank. The entryway had 3 half-full trash bags sitting there. Just sitting there, not taken out to the garage or the bin. The hallway had bags of scooped cat litter clumps lined up against the wall like some kind of disgusting decoration. I walked into the living room and my jaw dropped. There was a 3-foot circle of wood ash scattered on the floor around my fireplace. They'd clearly been using the fireplace heavily. My entire winter wood pile that I'd stacked in September was almost gone. Maybe 20% left. That wood was supposed to last me until March. The couch had visible stains on it. The coffee table was covered in dishes, cups, food wrappers. There were crumbs everywhere. The kitchen was worse. Every single dish I owned was dirty, piled in the sink, scattered on the counters, left on the dining table with dried food crusted on them. It took me 4 full dishwasher loads to get through all of it. There were pots with rotting food still in them sitting on the stove. The counters were sticky and filthy. The floor was grimy. I walked through the house in a daze, discovering more disasters in every room. Cat vomit, dried, crusty, clearly days old. On the bedroom floor, more dishes scattered around. The bathroom was disgusting, cleaning products unused under the sink. Jessica and her boyfriend were there when I arrived, sitting on my couch like nothing was wrong. "Hey, welcome home," Jessica said cheerfully. "How are you feeling?" I stood there post-surgery, barely able to stand without pain, looking at the absolute disaster of my home, and I didn't know what to say. My kids immediately started complaining about the mess. My 12-year-old son actually said, "Mom, what happened to our house?" Jessica started making excuses. "Oh yeah, sorry, we were going to clean up today, but we didn't have time. We'll get to it." I was too weak for confrontation, too tired, too overwhelmed. I just wanted them gone. But Jessica had other plans. Jessica pulled me aside and started her pitch about staying longer. "I know the house is a little messy, but that's actually why I think I should stay. I can clean it up and help take care of you and the kids while you're recovering. It makes sense, right?" I could barely process what she was saying. The audacity of destroying my house and then offering to stay longer to help clean up her own mess was mind-boggling. "No," I said firmly, "I need my space back. I need to be in my own home with my kids." "But you can barely walk. How are you going to manage everything?" "I'll figure it out. You need to leave tomorrow." She pushed back. She negotiated. She guilt-tripped. And because I was so physically weak and emotionally exhausted, I caved to letting her stay 2 more days. 2 more days. Her boyfriend sat on my couch the entire time, watching me struggle to clean up their mess and never once offered to help. He ate my food, watched my TV, and acted like a guest in a hotel. Jessica did at least cook 1 meal for me, which I'll give her credit for. But that was the bare minimum and didn't even begin to make up for the disaster. I called my 2 best friends, a married couple who've known me for years, and begged them to come over when the lift arrived to make sure Jessica and her boyfriend actually left. I didn't trust her not to miss the ride and try to stay longer. The day they were supposed to leave, I told them hours in advance to pack up and be ready. They waited until literally 10 minutes before the lift arrived to start packing. The driver had to wait half an hour while they scrambled around throwing their stuff in bags. As they were leaving, the boyfriend had the nerve to pull my friend aside and say, "I'm just really concerned about Sarah. I want to make sure she has the help she needs. I'll be back to help out as much as I can." My friend Gray rocked perfectly, just nodded and said nothing. That asshole did nothing to help the entire time he was there. He made everything harder on me just by existing in my space. As soon as they left, my friend sent me to bed and spent 2 hours cleaning my kitchen and living room. My kids helped too. My son vacuumed the couch and cleaned up the fireplace ash. Even with their help, I spent the next several days cleaning up after Jessica and her boyfriend. Every time I thought I was done, I'd discover another mess, another stain, another pile of trash. I was supposed to be resting. I was supposed to be healing. Instead, I was scrubbing floors on my hands and knees in excruciating pain every night because I was pushing my body too hard too soon. I developed complications from overdoing it. My incision site got inflamed. I was in constant pain. My recovery was set back by weeks because I had to clean up after these parasites. Then I checked my car. I'd given Jessica permission for 2 non-emergency trips to the city, about 30 miles each way. She'd admitted to using my car a little bit beyond that. I checked the odometer. They drove my car 1,100 miles, 1,100 miles. I have a lease with a mileage limit. Every mile over that limit costs me money. They'd used up almost a third of my yearly mileage allotment in 1 month. I was furious, but I was also still too weak to confront them in person. I spent a few days gathering my evidence and my courage. Then I sent Jessica a text. I need to talk to you about the car. You drove it 1,100 miles when I only authorized about 120 miles of use. You've cost me significant money in overage fees on my lease. I'm requesting you pay me 30 cents per mile for unauthorized use, which comes to $255. She responded immediately. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize we drove it that much, but I don't have that kind of money right now. You had money to drive my car 1,100 miles. You can pay me back in installments if needed. I really can't afford this. Can we work something else out? No, you took advantage of me when I was at my most vulnerable. You destroyed my house, used up my firewood, drove my car without permission, and moved your boyfriend in without asking. The least you can do is pay for the car usage. She stopped responding. I followed up with an invoice via email, itemizing everything: unauthorized car mileage, replacement firewood costs, professional cleaning fees to remove the couch stains she'd caused. Total $687. I told her I was willing to settle for the $255 car fee if she paid within 30 days. Otherwise, I'd pursue the full amount through small claims court. I haven't heard back from her since. Honestly, I don't care if I get the money or not. Either I'll get compensated for some of my trouble, or I'll scare her away so badly that I'll never have to see her again. Either way, it's a win. This experience taught me something important. No good deed goes unpunished, and some people will absolutely take advantage of your kindness if you let them. I offered Jessica a safe place to stay, $600 in payment, $300 in groceries, and use of my home for a month. In exchange, she was supposed to take care of 2 kittens and a fish tank and keep my house reasonably clean. Instead, she moved in her boyfriend and her cat without permission, destroyed my house, burned through my firewood, drove my car over 1,000 miles, and then tried to negotiate staying even longer. The worst part, I was recovering from major surgery. I was at my most vulnerable, my most weak, my most in need of help. And she took advantage of that. I'm 11 weeks post-op now and still dealing with the consequences of having to clean up after her. My recovery was significantly set back because I pushed myself too hard too soon. Some people might say I should have set better boundaries up front. Maybe they're right, but I trusted her. I thought I was helping a friend who was going through a tough time. Instead, I learned she was never really my friend at all. She was just someone looking for an opportunity to exploit. I've blocked her on everything. If she ever tries to contact me again, I won't respond. That friendship is over. And I'll never ever let someone I'm not 100% certain about stay in my home again. Lesson learned. Expensive lesson, but learned.